Hey everybody, Tuesday morning here, and I had to get out of my house because there's too many people doing school and working. There's absolutely no Wi-Fi capabilities. Our internet Wi-Fi is zapped. We couldn't do anything last night. I think the whole world is home trying to do what they have to do. And so I'm walking up the street trying to find a shady spot because it's really sunny, and then we'll talk. So yeah, oh, it's beautiful here. Courtney just said what a pretty view. Yeah, this is the street that I live on, and the gorgeous blue sky and all these oak trees and pine trees. And yeah, it's really, really pretty here. So, yeah, quite the week we've had at my house. Let's see, Thanksgiving. And then my daughter's birthday was on Friday. So yeah, I've got officially a 14-year-old. She reminded me the other day that she can drive in 2 years, which is kind of funny because my son is 16 and he doesn't want to drive at all. So there you have it. The difference between boys and girls sometimes. Anyway, so I'm almost to the spot where I think it might be a good shady spot. Actually, maybe back there would be better. I'm a little higher, but I'm wondering how you guys are doing. This world is crazy, I tell you. Every time I think I can wrap my brain around it, I can't. Yeah, I tell you, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I think there's not much to say. But I do hope you guys are doing good. And you know, it's so funny because I tell you, this chapter that I'm reading today is just hilarious because of how it lines up. Like I tell you, sometimes I would say God. Some people would say maybe, you know, karma or just lucky chance that it just always ends up the way that it should, I guess, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna sit down right here. I have a little shady spot. Let's see if I can sit in the weeds here. Okay. Oh, look at this. It's so beautiful out. My goodness, it's beautiful. Anyway, all right. So we're gonna read chapter 13 today, and I will say, if some of you guys know me really well, that the number 13 is just my number. I was born on the 13th of August, and I always wore the number 13 on my back for sports stuff. My stepdad, who I loved, Lanny, you guys all know about him, he used to wear number 13, and he was like the most humble guy ever, and he said that he started wearing number 13 because nobody else wanted it, and he thought, well, I'll take it then, that's okay. And he was kind of like that. He would kind of take like the reject, you know what I mean? Take the rejects and be okay with it. So that's how that all started. But then the number 13 really became really important to me after my brain surgery because I had 13 staples in my head. And no, I did not ask my surgeon to put 13 in my head. It was just random. And I will never forget, it was like three days after I'd gotten home from my surgery, and my mom was at my house and she was helping me take my first bath. I had taken a bath at the hospital, but she was helping me wash my hair for the first time. And so, and there's like yucky, gross stuff you guys don't want to know that's just stuck in every little piece of your hair after brain surgery. And so she is like massaging my scalp and being really careful around my incision site. And she said, "Oh my gosh, you will not believe this." And I'm like, "What?" And she was like, "You have 13 staples in your head." And I was like, "No way." And she was like, "I'm serious." I'm like, "No, you're just saying that." And she like took a picture of it, and that picture that I had posted a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "Look," and she counted them, and she said, "There's 13, Wendy. Oh my goodness, like God knew that you needed 13 staples in your head." You know what I mean? So anyway, the number 13 is awesome. I love it. I think it is baker's dozen, the perfect amount, you know? Anyway, we are on chapter. Did you guys see me? I said that I had a bad connection. Sorry if it cut me off. I'm going to go up the hill a little bit here to a higher ground because nowhere has good reception. And then we'll read our chapter, okay? Sorry, folks. We're living in the crazy times here. Can't even do a Facebook Live in my own house or even on my street. I've got a little shade coming up, so I'm just gonna sit cross-legged right in the street and talk to you guys. So yes, chapter 13. It's from season 1, episode 14. And it is, gosh, this is a tough one. It's a really tough one. Mr. Edwards' homecoming. And I think if you guys, okay, I think we're going to be good here. Yes, we have palm trees here. You see that palm tree in the background? And a really blue sky. Okay. Mr. Edwards' homecoming. I got to catch my breath. Hold on. This was when Mr. Edwards came back to Walnut Grove and Laura got sick, and he was getting worried that she would die because Mr. Edwards' wife and daughter died of scarlet fever when Mr. Edwards earlier in his life, and so he was just really scared of that. I think sometimes we can let the things of our past take us out, give us fear. I know it happens for me. I have a lot of fears and anxieties that pop up in my life when I think about the past, and they just come back. I call it PTSD. And mine is a lot to do with when I have headaches, when I get sick, when I feel like I don't know if I'm going to get better. It all comes back. And that's all from my past experiences. So this is kind of the same thing that Mr. Edwards was going through. He was letting his past dictate his future. And, I was just in South Dakota talking about being a trailblazer and how fear doesn't own a trailblazer. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that God doesn't want us to live by fear. Even the fears that we remember from the past, All right, so I'm going to read this. It's called Questioning God. And the quote is from Mr. Edwards, and he says, "Why did God let my wife and daughter die? Even today, I wouldn't have a quick or simple answer to Mr. Edwards' question. When his family died of scarlet fever, he turned his back on God. Charles wanted Mr. Edwards to join the Ingalls family at church, but he just couldn't get himself to go. Our questions are important. They help us communicate with God. I no longer fear asking because I know God can handle our questions. He wants us to ask. Questions begin conversations with him, and that's what he's after, a relationship with us. Loss is a way of emboldening our spirits, doesn't it? In the Bible, Moses boldly answered God with a question in Exodus 3:11. Who am I to go to the king and lead your people out of Egypt? And David, while waiting, asked the Lord, how long will it be? Even Jesus asked, my God, why have you forsaken me, while hanging on the cross? The first time I questioned God was about my Grandma Lou. Cancer had already taken my grandpa, and Grandma and I enjoyed a special connection beyond sharing the name Lou. Grandma Lou died in a car accident during a spontaneous trip to the mountains with friends. Especially with a major loss, we often question God's goodness. How can a loving God allow such a terrible event? Why would he let us face such sadness? Losing my grandma forced me to surrender to God's will. I opened my tight grip and started trusting him to lead the way, even if the road was rough. The lessons I learned prepared me for future challenges. And this is what I want you to really remember today. God is bigger than our questions, bigger than our troubles. He sees every detail and knows that every tragedy has a purpose. We may never understand the reason for our suffering. Our hearts may feel forever broken. But when our souls ache and we have questions on our lips, we see our need for Jesus. The questioning is what eventually brought Mr. Edwards to his knees and back to God. When we question, we can fully engage with our hearts open to receive his comfort. And the verse for today is so true for you, especially for today. John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. Yes, indeed. But take heart, I have overcome the world. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. And there you have it, folks. Here we go. What's going on in your life that is less than ideal? I've got a few of my own. Yep. And what do? We just keep trusting God that he's going to get us through it. He is the wonderful counselor, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. And on this December 1st, that's the only thing I'm hanging on to. So, I hope that you guys are having a great day. And I'll see you again next week. All right. Love you guys. Bye.